So, of course, when we reviewed this season, all off season, this was a game that stood out as Miami's a better football team. We know that. But Virginia Tech was a chic pick of a lot of people to challenge in the ACC. They had a bit of a comeback season. I don't want to go too crazy about going 7-6, but they won a bowl game and they've been so lousy for a few years that was a bit of a comeback year for Brent Pry. And because they brought back as much production as just about anybody in college football, Kyron Drones in particular at quarterback, a lot of hype surrounding Virginia Tech coming into this year, and the thought that, okay, this is one that Miami has to have on guard against Virginia Tech. But boom, right out of the gate, they lose as a 2-touchdown favorite at Vanderbilt. And then this past weekend, I checked in on this game. So what I did, and this is one of the reasons I stay up till 4:30 in the morning, is that after I shut down here at about 2 a.m. with our post-game show, I see about, I don't know, about 28 different games that I think, man, I wish I would have at least seen a snippet of that. So I threw in the 20 or 25 minutes of Rutgers and Virginia Tech, and they had a number of opportunities to actually get blown out worse than the final score would indicate. It was 23-7, and Rutgers fumbled at the Virginia Tech 2 in that situation to go up 30-7. And they also inexplicably went for it on like 4th and goal at the 3. Again, they could have went up 30-7. So 2 touchdowns left on the board by Rutgers made it a game hanging in the balance late, but Rutgers converted a screen pass for like 68 yards to set up the game-winning field goal. Then their defensive end made a remarkable play to end Virginia Tech on a batted ball up in the air that he intercepted to end the game. So Virginia Tech goes down for a second time this season. Again, Drones at quarterback. Bayshul Tutin's a nice running back, gained about 125 yards against Rutgers. So, to your earlier point about such challenges against the likes of, let's say, a Florida or a South Florida, Virginia Tech roughly in that same realm. You would have to lift them higher than a South Florida slightly, but a game that Miami's got to play like a C and Virginia Tech's got to play like an A for it to be competitive, seriously competitive.
Yeah, seriously competitive, like in the balance or something. Yeah, Rutgers was real close to blowing that game all the way open and everything. Shout out to Bayshul Tutin from Virginia Tech. He's a very solid running back. I think he'll be the best running back that Miami will have faced so far this year. But I think Byron Brown and Kyron Drones are pretty much the same player. If you account for them in the quarterback run game and leave them to their devices passing, they're not really that skilled. And Kyron Drones has quite honestly been pretty bad this year throwing the ball down the field. So, yeah, this is a team, that is going to come in here hyped up. They're going to play with a lot of pride. I know that they would love to ruin the season that Miami is fancying themselves to be building. This is a long time opponent and rival from, the Big East to the ACC and things like that. This is something I brought up on the Sons of Saturday podcast. I thought it was asinine that Virginia Tech was not one of the second protected rivalry or one of the 3 when, prior to this next round of expansion, with Cal and Stanford. But to me, it should have been, Florida State, Virginia Tech, and insert third team here. And I know that Louisville lobbied to have it be Louisville, Miami, but whatever. I do not like those people, if you couldn't tell. But yeah, look, honestly, the line opened. I saw Vegas Insider on theirs had the line opening at Miami like -8.5, and I was like, "What are y'all on? Like, excuse me." But yeah, like everybody had opened between like 16 and 17. It's up to around 19.5, pushing 20 now. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think that this is another minimum 3 touchdown win. As long as Miami does what they need to do. And I am confident that we're going to be able to do that. Rutgers' offensive line graded out incredibly high against Virginia Tech. And I quoted the tweet and I said that's why they won right there. Like Virginia Tech, they made like a couple plays on the defensive line, but like they got manhandled. And I'm like, I think that our offensive line is better than Rutgers's. I mean, and I think that they're both good. I'm not saying that Rutgers is a bad offensive line, but I think that ours is better, you know. And I did watch Brent Pry's presser this week, and of course, the local media, we think that Virginia Tech has one of the best defensive lines in the country. And I'm like, by what metric are we talking about? One of the best 25, one of the best 50? Like, I think that Miami has one of the best, like, 5. You know what I mean? Like, so, I get it and everything. But, yeah, as long as Miami does what they need to do, as long as we're not turning the ball over 3 and 4 times, and having another 12, 13, 17 penalty type of a game, this team is bigger, stronger, faster, and better. Like, this is where we are. And I know that it's just like, man, Cam, like, you're not sounding like your normal self. And like, like, I pride myself on being pragmatic and everything, but this is me being pragmatic. This team is, if you look at it in every dimension, the thing I will say is Virginia Tech is well known for their secondary, their defensive backs. And that will be a challenge for the Miami passing game because they do have good players back there. They have a lot of good players back there. And I respect that. And I respect all of the opponents that we have. But I don't think that they're better than us. Their quarterback's not better. Could Bashil Tootin play here, the running back? Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, like I said, already we have 5 great running backs on this roster, or 5 blue chippers in the running back room. I think Bashil Tootin fits that mold. So if you want to call it a push on a 1-to-1, sure. But when you go down to 2, 3, 4, 5, give me Miami. Our offensive line is better than theirs. Our defensive line is better than theirs. Our linebackers are at a minimum as good as theirs. I would say our secondary probably like a or a B+ to their A-. But look, coming into the year where it was incomplete or maybe trending towards, I was really concerned about the secondary coming into the year. I'm willing to take that. And then, on specials, like, I trust our special teams, pretty much. So, yeah, I think that this should be another game where Miami flexes on an opponent that at this point is simply just not as talented or productive as them, end up the game, with a nice win against, a game Virginia Tech Hokie team to get to 1-0 on the week and 1-0 in the ACC and then move forward towards the next week. But yeah, I think that, again, this should be a Miami win and cover at this point of the season. If I go back over here, Miami is 5th in the country covering the spread by an average of 16 and a half points per game. Like, over the spread. Yeah. So another 5 touchdown type thing, is very much in the realm of possibilities. But yeah, I think that this is another Miami win and cover. 5 wins out of 5, 1 game away from bowl eligibility. And I know people are like, yeah, and am I going to write that piece when it happens? Absolutely, because we've been here and there have been years, plural, recently where I've not been able to write that piece. And I know that that is only a minor step along the path, but I am going to enjoy all of this season, every one of these wins, every step we take along this path, and memorialize and celebrate them as they happen.
I am checking out Miami recent results here against the spread. In the last 10 years, prior to 2024, Miami was 57-68 against the spread. I see they were 6-6 last year against the spread. I know that they had, so it must have been prior to 23. I think it was mostly 2022 where they really had a run, a pretty embarrassing run against the spread, where we've got 25-point favorite against Middle Tennessee, lost by 14.
That's the one.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you're minus 40 from the spread in the game. Yeah, that, and then it continued that season. But yeah, that was the one that tanked it, and it went down from there. But 4 for 4 with covers, on the spread, and then exceeding the spread by by 3 scores a game. That's where we are.
9-point favorite against Duke 2 weeks later, lost by 24.
That's like I said, the Middle Tennessee started it, but then that Duke game where we got bombed and there are many instances you can point to, which is why I wanted to just raise that as well. But Miami is finding the explosivity. I'm so glad I don't have to write that piece this year where I was like, bro, where have the explosive plays gone? Cam Ward is like right here, bro. And actually, interesting, another stat, where is it? 13.5% of Miami's offensive snaps are going for 20 yards or more. That's 1 out of every 6.5 plays being 20 yards or more. Like, what are we talking about? Like, so I'm glad I don't have to write that this year. It's going really well.
We appreciate more contributions coming in. Paolo, 2024 has been the scheduling for Miami in years. Can you help me out on that one?
Maybe include best in between the best or easiest or whatever, most desirable. Yeah, absolutely. It absolutely is. And hey, sometimes these things break this way. Like, we've had very challenging seasons, in the past. We've had Clemson and Florida State at the peak of their powers both, when we were anything but that in the regular season and, the non-conference and things like that. And, hey, this is but this is what we were talking about all off season. Tailor-made for a playoff run is this schedule. Like, absolutely bespoke to this team, like fitted, suited, and booted. Like, this is the best schedule, easiest, most advantageous towards success, whatever you want to call it. But especially considering the team that we have and the players that we have, led by, the Heisman Trophy frontrunner on all of the betting sites at this time, Cam Ward. It really is. And so, again, this is an opportunity that presents itself, and we have to take advantage of it.
Our buddy Falconer letting us know that George has predicted Florida State over Florida and Florida State over Miami.
I would agree with the former, but not the latter.
Falconer, Miami should go undefeated. Please focus.
Honestly, I mean, look, you had to, one game at a time, one play at a time. And lineman assignment technique, you had to be focused on this moment, because this moment right now is the most important moment. When I talk choir, I always said that. I said, it's not your favorite song or this one moment or whatever, but like the note that you're singing right now is the most important note, right? And you have to live in that kind of a moment. It's the same thing in football. So now if I'm taking the long-term view of this season, get through Friday, get through next week, late night, Canes after dark, bye week, and then the game of the regular season on the road at Louisville. Like, that's the one. And everything being equal, or if Miami performs to the way that we're seeing, that's the one game really between right now and an undefeated regular season. Like, I don't think that anybody else is even close to Miami's level after Louisville, and I do think that they're a game team, like Brian Brom does a good job with them. There's so many South Florida guys. There's so many former Miami dudes on that roster. When they needed to get the running game going last week, who did they lean on? Number 21, Donald Cheney Jr. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of that. And, I have no love lost for them. I don't know why. They just get under my skin. I swear, but behind Florida State and Florida, they are the team that I hate the most, because they talk shit and I fucking hate it. And they come down here and they recruit a lot. They don't necessarily get the best guys, but Ja'Cory Brooks is there now as a transfer from Alabama, from, Booker T and everything. And like, for years, especially because they beat us with Teddy Bridgewater in that bowl game and left him out there until the end, and it's in Orlando, and he comes off like fucking Spartacus, and like, we're just sitting in the whole Louisville sideline and Camping World Stadium, showering him with praise. I can't fucking stand them, but I will respect it, and that is the game we have to get through. But that's not this week's game. But absent that, and I think getting through that test, and we've gone up there and blown their brains out multiple times. And I know they're going to go back and say, well, you remember in 2007 when you guys stomped on the Cardinal head, and then Mario Rudia scored and he stiff armed a guy from 52 yards out and we beat you by da-da-da-da-da. Yep, sure do. Do you remember in, what was that, 2004 Devin Hester punt return on Thursday night with when Brian Brom was a freshman playing with Stephon LaFours? I think it was 03. You remember that? Oh, well, you got to bring up old stuff. Why y'all got to bring up old stuff? Sorry. You can tell I'm getting go. I don't like those people in Louisville. I don't. But I say all that to say, as we sit here and look at the schedule, that is the game that will be the determining factor between 11-1 and 12-0 in the regular season if Miami continues to do what they need to do. But in terms of this season, and look, I'm a blogger, I'm a pundit, I'm a graduate, I'm a fan, so I can say these things. This team, I know, are focused on Virginia Tech, play for 60 minutes, deserve and earn victory, and move forward. But I do agree, Falconer should go undefeated, but that game at Louisville will be the determining factor in my eyes.
Louisville at Notre Dame Saturday. That should be an interesting one. And let's table this one. We got to run, but Paolo, we want to certainly honor your super chat here. Yeah, this one we can simmer on for a future show, comparing the current position units to the next best or the last best comparison of a position unit.
Well, give me 1 second. I like analog, so I have my handy dandy notepad here. So this is Pablo rank units.
While Cam's looking at that, we also had a super chat from months and months and months and months ago that we tabled. I'm going to have to go back and look at that because it came in on Facebook and we promised for a answer, but it required some homework as well. So I got to go back and find that. So we apologize to whomever that was. I'm sorry, I can't recollect who that was.
I have it here. It's still, because I take notes and I did not forget about it. It was ranking the rosters and staff entirely from Mark Richt's team in 18, Manny's 21, and then this year's. So the most three recent best iterations of Miami. We're going to say, and I have left this here on my, I didn't have to look for it. It's on top of this stuff right here. So as I pulled that up, I don't know if you can see, there it goes, right? It's on the screen. So we're going to table that to the bye week, but I have it here and I've left it on top of my stuff specifically because I did not want to forget about it and everything. So I know Mark brought it up. It's literally been here. I couldn't have written that note that quickly, guys. It's been here. Trust me. So we hear you. We appreciate the super chats and everything. So for Pablo's and from this one from Facebook, we will get back to it. Pablo, I don't know if I'm going to get to this one next week or in the bye week as well, but we will definitely in the next couple of weeks get to both of those pending conversations and things to be sure that, we're answering the questions and interacting with you guys at the level, that you're interacting with us. I really appreciate it and everything. So yeah, to that person from Facebook, we did not forget. I promise you I did not. I keep looking at that and say every week saying, damn, we haven't gotten to that. Damn, we haven't gotten to that. The plan is we will get to that during the bye week. And so if you, like Pablo, or if you, like our friend on Facebook, have any kind of those larger topics, those maybe a little bit of research goes into it kind of things that you would like us to maybe discuss during the bye week, hey, at Underwood Sports, I know Mark Rogers, Voice of College Football on, on the Magic Twitter machine and everything, stateoftheu.com is where you can find me. My email address is in my Underwood Sports bio on Twitter at the State of the U on all your socials as well. So there's plenty of ways that you can get those to us and everything, but we do have at least 2 for the bye week, and I just wanted to write those down. So I am very studious and fastidious about these kind of details. So I just did want to bring that up, and I appreciate that. We will circle back.
Well done, Cam. You're a better man than me. It just popped into my head.
And, look, I know me, and I know that I work off of paper. sometimes. I know that I need to have these things written so that I don't forget them. So yeah, we have those two, and I'll say exactly. No, hey, I got my calendar, my analog calendar over here. I got other notebooks at my workstation here, and all kinds of stuff. So yeah, did not forget about that. I appreciate it, but also to you guys watching and commenting and asking these questions. It's great conversation. I can't wait to dive into those things.